Ready to start our ceremony here in just a few moments. My name is John Otis Nichols. I'm the Secretary of Vietnam Veterans of America, Chapter 1129. It's been our honor this year to be able to host this event, to organize it, and we are very thankful for that opportunity. On behalf of all the veterans organizations, United States Veterans Alliance, the American Legion, Veterans of Foreign Wars, and the VBA, we welcome each and every one of you here today. We appreciate your attendance. It means a lot to us that you are here. I've got a few announcements to make before I go through a little bit more of this, but on December the 10th at 5:30 at the Free Will Baptist Church down the road here, there will be a potluck dinner for all veterans. So if you're able to attend, please attend that potluck dinner. Also, the day after this ceremony at the Senior Citizens Center, there's going to be a lunch for the veterans. So please attend that if you will. Again, it's our honor this year at the VBA to host this event. Well, first, we'd like to thank the American Legion for all the years that they've hosted it, and particularly Darwin Newton. They've always done a fabulous job, and we appreciate the work that they've done. Another quick thing. In years past, we've had the availability of some of the Cheatham County schools to participate. I'm going to back off. Participate in this event, but this year, it's a good thing. Schools are out to recognize Veterans Day, so were not readily available to participate this year. We appreciate that they are honoring Veterans Day, but we do miss their participation. And I've got to tell you a little story. On a Tuesday afternoon, I was called and told that the schools will not be able to participate. Wednesday morning, I'm brooding about it, sitting in my easy chair, drinking coffee, wondering what we're going to do. And Miss Cindy Perry called me. And she said that she'd gotten my number from the VSO office and asked, what can we do to participate in the Veterans Day ceremony? And I first said, well, who's we? And she said, it was former students, Mr. Mickey Dice, Cheatham County High School. They had a choir reunion. So you see behind me the Fermata Choir. They volunteered to be here today, and so God was watching over this event today, just as He's holding off the rain. So we're very thankful for their participation today. They'll be singing some songs when we get started here in just a little bit. They'll be leading us in the national anthem, and then singing 3 more songs throughout the ceremony. We've got a number of distinguished guests here today. Darwin Newton is going to, once we start the ceremony, Darwin Newton is going to start us off, and then followed by Walter Weekly. Let me look at my agenda here. Walter Weekly, then Mayor McCarver will speak, and State Senator Kerry Roberts. Now, he said he's going to be here, but it'd be just about the time we start. Is he here? Okay. He'll be here. Then we're going to have some more songs by the choir. And then our State Representative Mary Littleton will speak. VSO Officer Michael McPherson will have some words. Choir will perform again. And then I'm going to speak a little bit about our new Veterans Memorial Park that we're planning on building up the road here. And then Harold Hodges will lead us in recognition of the veterans. The Cheatham Club will be over to the side handing out pins. So when you see people over there handing out pins as we recognize the veterans, just be thankful to the Cheatham Club for that. And then we have Senator Roberts and Representative McCarver are going to lay the wreath. So again, And we'll have a final benediction. And I hope that Harold Hodges will lead that. And so, again, thank you for being here. We're going to start the program off with a prayer by Mr. Paul Robert Gupton. Then we'll do the national anthem, and then we'll all say the Pledge of Allegiance. So, again, thank each and every one of you for being here. It's our pleasure to have you here. It makes us feel good to see the number of people that are out here today. Again, if you will, Mr. Paul Robert Gupton is going to lead us in our prayer.
Gotta have this microphone in the right position. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. I was wondering a little earlier what an old preacher would do as far as come Veterans Day, and they came to call me to ask me if I would lead in prayer down there. My wife, of course, Marilyn just passed away at 19th of last month. I'm having a little trouble recovering, but I am recovering. We were married, 67 years. I tell you, it takes a little bit of time to recover. And I've got a scripture that I love. Walter Chapel gave me a plaque kind of presenting with a scripture on it, and I want to give it to each one of you veterans here today that's here for Veterans Day. It's a scripture that I love. Proverbs 3, verse 5 and 6. Trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not on thine own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will direct your path. That's the scripture. Amen. We thank you, Lord. We thank you for all the veterans that are gathered here today, and we appreciate the fact that we are able to be here. We thank you for victory in Jesus, and he is the way, the truth, and the life, and we all know that. Let's pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you for the gift. We thank you for the fact that we are all able to be Christians for you. We ask guidance and direction as we go through each day of our lives, especially these latter days, when all of us are going through the latter days of our life generally. We ask for guidance and direction that we may be able to accomplish your will in all of our ways. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
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 Please stand and face the flag for the singing of the national anthem.
Stripes and bright stars through the
Pledge allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Please be seated. Mr. Darwin Newton, and now lend a few words.
Thank you, Mr. Nicholson. I appreciate the opportunity, and it's an honor to be with the guests, the participants, and most of all, the veterans here today. For 27 years, I served as Master of Ceremonies for this event. I appreciate the Vietnam Veterans Organization Post 1129 for taking the lead in this event this year. I hold this event very dear and near to my heart for the veterans of Cheatham County. This is the 31st year that this program has been held, and we certainly appreciate the participation that each one has given to this program. A little bit about Veterans Day and why we honor our veterans on this specific time. Veterans Day was organized as Armistice Day on November the 11th, 1919. The first anniversary of the end of World War I. Congress passed a resolution in 1926 for an annual observance of November the 11th, and this became the holiday beginning in 1938. Unlike Memorial Day, Veterans Day pays tribute to all American veterans, living or dead, but especially giving thanks to living veterans who served their country honorably during wartime and peace. Veterans Day today occurs on November the 11th every year in the United States in honor of the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month in 1918 that signaled the end of World War I, known as Armistice Day. In 1954, President Dwight Eisenhower officially changed the name of the holiday from Armistice Day to Veterans Day. In 1968, the Uniform Holiday Bill was passed by Congress, which moved the celebration of Veterans Day to the fourth Monday in October. This law went into effect in 1971, but in 1975, President Gerald Ford returned to Veterans Day November the 11th due to the importance of the historical significance of this date. Just a few small facts about veterans that exist here in the United States. There are over 18 million living veterans that have served in at least one war. Of the 16 million Americans who served during World War II, only about 400,000 are still living. 2 million veterans served in Korea. 7 million veterans served during the Vietnam War era, and 3 million have served during the time to support the war on terrorism. We are here today to honor those who have served. We have come a long way in recent years. I can remember back during a Memorial Day parade in 1971, where our unit was asked to march in the Memorial Day parade. We were heckled, we were spit on, we were called names, but we survived. And we participate, each one of you, we thank you for each one of your participation today in making this Memorial Day what it is. Thank you, veterans, for being here, and thank you for all the people that come here today honoring those veterans. Thank you.
County Commissioner and President of VVA Chapter 1129, Walter Wheatley. Thank you, Otis.
Today we honor all military veterans. I am proud and very honored to be here today with all the veterans, family, and friends. On September 22nd, 1969, the day that I was drafted to be a veteran was the furthest thing from my mind. But now as I look back, it was the best thing that could have happened. I was headed down the wrong way of a one-way street. I'm not sure where I would be today had it not been for the military and the prayers that my mama had said for me. It changed my life forever. Statistics show that only 2% of the population are veterans. And I'm very proud to be in that 2%. Like some of you, I took the oath when I entered the military. And nobody has ever believed me of that oath. I guess when God calls me home, I always stand down because my watch will be over. When I entered the Army, 3 boys from Cheatham County had been killed in Vietnam. 2 were friends, upperclassmen, and 1 that I grew up around in the Bethel community. As an 18-year-old boy, this is what I had to look forward to. That was my reality, just as many of you. Someone asked me once, were you scared when you was in Vietnam? I thought for a moment. I said, only once. And he said, only once? I said, that's right. From the time I got on that aircraft at Fort Dix, New Jersey, headed to Vietnam, till I got off that aircraft at Fort Lewis, Washington, I was scared the whole time.
That's right, brother.
There are many people that have PhDs, masters, and other degrees. And I'm all about good education. But we veterans have something. It's called a DD 214. 98% of the population do not have. And will never understand what it takes to get ones. Our veterans know. When I was in Vietnam, I got this lighter, a Zippo lighter. The inscription reads, you have never lived till you've almost died. For those who fight for it, life has a flavor. The protected will never know. And the veterans, we were the best that America had. And I think we're still the best that America has.
I don't know how well you can hear this choir, but I've got the greatest spot on earth right now. It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. Now I'd like to introduce Cheatham County Mayor Carrie McCarver.
Thank you, Mr. Nichols. Good morning. Winston Churchill said, "A nation that fails its heroes soon will have no heroes to honor." How do you honor a veteran? A poet, Joanna Fox, honored veterans with a poem that she titled "The Noble and the Brave." And it reads something like this. When America had an urgent need, these brave ones raised a hand. No hesitation held them back. They were proud to take a stand. They left their friends and family. They gave up normal life to serve their country and their God. They plowed into the strife. They fought for freedom and for peace on strange and foreign shores. Some lost new friends, some lost their lives in long and brutal wars. Other veterans answered a call to support the ones who fought. Other veterans answered the call, a call to support the ones who fought. Their country had requirements for the essential skills they brought. We salute every one of them, the noble and the brave, the ones still with us here today, and those who rest in a grave. So here's to our country's heroes. They're a cut above the rest. Let's give the honor that is due to our country's very best. How then do we honor our veterans, our Cheatham County veterans, our Cheatham County heroes? A simple thank you seems inadequate when we contemplate the men and women who put their lives on hold to keep the United States of America safe for us, our children, and our grandchildren. How can you thank a veteran for freedoms that most of the world will never dare to dream? How do you thank a veteran for freedoms we too often take for granted? The service of a veteran allows us to continue our American way of life with the freedom to pursue life, liberty, and personal happiness. Freedom to choose where we live, who we elect to lead, the ability to speak our minds and thoughts openly without retaliation, the ability to choose our career paths, the ability to choose when, where, and how we worship, whom we marry, how we raise our families. We stop today to reflect on all these freedoms we have from the grace of God on the backs of veterans for the last 243 years. Today is our annual recognition of our local heroes. We do not do this out of some routine obligation, but out of respect, honor, love, and appreciation for our Cheatham County veterans. We thank our Creator for allowing us to live in the United States of America. I thank all veterans who answered the call to ensure generations before us live free. And today, thanks to our veterans, we remain free. We can also look forward to our future veterans who, without hesitation, will answer that call so our children and grandchildren and their children will wake up every day free in the United States of America. Once again, thank you for all coming out today. May God forever bless Cheatham County, the great state of Tennessee, and the United States of America.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mayor McCarver. Now, State Senator Kerry Roberts.
Well, thank you for letting me be part of your program today. When we think about veterans, what comes to mind? When we think about our veterans as liberators, as protectors, as peacekeepers, as guardians of all that's good and right. But you know, what happens when somebody leaves service and they come back to the United States? We don't often think about the contribution that they make, but let me brag on our veterans for a minute. Did you know that veterans make more money than the average American? Did you know that veterans have higher educational attainment? Did you know that veterans are more likely to vote? And did you know that veterans contribute a significant amount of their time and money to support charitable efforts? In fact, veterans volunteer 25% more than the average American to charity or good causes. Our veterans are far more than those that have kept the peace, those who have assured our liberty, those who have fought in our place. Veterans are literally the backbone of our society. With 18 million with 18 million plus living veterans in America today, the contribution of our veterans, both in war and peace and in our society today, cannot be overstated. Thank you to all of our veterans. Thank you for your service, and thank you for this day that we have to honor veterans. God bless America.
This part is unscripted, but as we sing this next selection, it's our service hymns. When we sing yours, if you're here today representing that service, I'd like to ask you to come forward if you can and stand somewhere in this brown circle here, salute the flag, and then go back to your spot just when we call or sing your service number. Step up, quick salute, and go back. Thank you.
Wrong one. Wrong one.
You in a hurry.
No, no. Take time to get up. I got to get started once I come on my feet. We are proud to claim the title of United States Marines. Coast Guard! We're always ready for the call. We place our trust in Thee. Coast Guard. And stars and shells to deliberating strife, who more than self their country love, and mercy more than thine. America, America, may God thy glory find. Till all success be nobleness, with every name divine. America,
Again, thank you. I mean, this is so great. It's wonderful. Now I'd like to present State Representative Mary Little.
Well, first I'd like to take this opportunity to thank everyone that put this on. It's just not been a great morning for us. Let's give them a hand. And second of all, I would like to ask you to join me for a moment of silence for all of our veterans and to remember those men and women who made the ultimate sacrifice in support of our freedom. So if we could just give a moment of silence, please, for them. Thank you. And may the souls of our brave heroes rest in peace. As we remember and honor the lives of those who have fallen, we must also not forget our military families on this solemn occasion. We want you to know that we stand behind you, our military families, and we pray along for you the safety of your loved ones. May God continue to comfort our military families today and every day, and may we continue to lift them up with our unwavering support. Additionally, while today is a time to remember our veterans, it is also a time to reflect on the gratitude we feel for the men and women in uniform who are protecting our nation and our freedom. I would encourage everyone to be generous in expressing this appreciation the next time you meet a soldier or their family. Medals and awards are given to some, but a simple and heartfelt thank you is earned by all who serve and have served our great nation. And today we remember the sacrifices of our fallen heroes made worldwide in the name of freedom. And as we contemplate the sacrifice of those who have given their lives in the line of duty, let us not forget the true meaning of this holiday. For a terrible price in blood has been paid to secure our American way of life for future generations. The words of Franklin Delano Roosevelt are as true today as they were in 1936. Freedom cannot be bestowed, it must be achieved. And until the day when the world is free from tyranny, our freedom will be achieved only if Americans are willing to answer the call, to prove themselves worthy to be free. The brave souls we commemorate today prove their worth in whatever capacity in which they serve. May we all do the same. And may God bless each and every one of you, and may God continue to bless Tennessee and the United States of America. And I do want to say, thank you so much for letting me be here today. Of all the events we get to attend, and some are good and some are bad, but there are some really good events. But this is my most favorite event, is to share this day with you guys. And I really thank you for fighting for our freedom. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Representative Littleton. And now, VSO Officer Michael McPherson.
How's everybody doing this morning? I didn't hear you. Yeah. There we go. So as I listened to all these speeches, I was at home trying to think about what I wanted to say and how I wanted to say it and how I want to come across. We hear about all the great things our veterans do and all the support that we get day in and day out. So when I read this to you, I want you to take that message home and really think and reflect about what I'm saying today. Now, Mr. Weekly, you know, he talked about 1969. I was 2 years old. I was just another body coming into America who was going to step up and serve my country. So I'm going to take you decades into the future from when Walter Weekly was coming home from Vietnam. In August of 2005, I was on my way to my very first interview after spending more than 20 years in the Army. I arrived on time. I checked in with the front lady at the desk. She said, have a seat. I sat down at the position of attention. About 5 minutes later, I started thinking about, you know, what was going to go on. I wasn't nervous. I didn't have any butterflies. I didn't think it was unusual. Then some lady called me in. She said, Michael, and I said, yes, ma'am. She said, you ready? I said, I am. I got up. I walked into a conference room. And it was a U-shaped setup. And all I did was look at it as if I were going to the E5 or E6 board. So many Army guys out there, whoever had to go to E5 or E6 board, knew exactly how nerve-wracking that was. When you had one command sergeant major and 5 first sergeants who were getting ready to eat you up for breakfast. And I promise you, it's very nerve-wracking. Because they wanted to make sure that you were ready to move on to a leadership position. Well, I took a seat, and they all introduced themselves and told me what positions they held within inside that organization. And then the first question came, Mr. McPherson, how do you deal with stress? I replied very quickly and said, I don't deal with stress. I create stress. And I knew very quickly that that's not the answer she was looking for. I want to thank everybody who came out here today to support us, to support the veterans, to support your community, to support Cheatham County and the state of Tennessee. You know, after my interview, I made a very quick beeline back to my transition assistance counselor and told her what happened. And I explained to her that I was not ready for civilian life. Because you got to realize what I've been doing, what I've gone through for the last 21 years. I literally spent over half my life in the Army. And all I was an infantry platoon sergeant trying to keep soldiers alive when we went to combat. That was my job. My job was to create stress on soldiers and a nice young lieutenant. That's what I did. So I had to learn how to repackage myself. And this nice young lady who just started as a transition counselor helped me with that. She taught me how to communicate, how to write a resume, how to present myself, and most importantly, how to interview correctly. Now, the reason I bring up this story is because we all go through certain circumstances in our life where we have to transition from something that we're accustomed to something we're very unaccustomed to. You look back at Mr. Weekly's time during Vietnam when they came home, I can assure you that transition was not a very happy one. And I understood that transition. I wasn't ready. And now, I'm a veteran service officer helping those veterans transition from military life to civilian life. And Mr. Otis asked me, he goes, I want you to tell those people what your office does. We do just about everything. I couldn't even isolate it to one or two things, what we do in that office. And when you work with a great team like Tom Meadows and Lisa Ware, you can't go wrong with that team. Now, for those who don't know, Tom Meadows hired me some 7 years ago. He saw something in me when I did my interview, and he hired me. And now we're back together working again. Now, our veteran service officer really has no limits in helping our veterans. If we were unable to assist a veteran, we become that conduit to get them the help they need. And that's the great thing about Cheatham County, is I work in an office where there's a whole bunch of other offices in there, all government offices. And they don't just tell people, hey, you got to do this and do that, and they shut them down. They literally walk them down to my office. They're that conduit to continually helping veterans, helping civilians. It's all about being on the same team. Now, I love everything about our office, and we provide so much to our community, to our veterans, our families, and even including our children. While in the military, we were always taught to be to bring out the bottom line up front. I needed help, and that's what I told that lady today I was trying to transition. Veterans can't do it alone. Know that. They might let you think they can, but they cannot. I'm a veteran, and I can't do it alone. Look at this nice choir singing for us. We're not doing it alone. Look at all you out here. Look to your left and right. We're not doing it alone. We're all in this together. And that's the important message here, is we're all transitioning together. I want to thank the Vietnam Veterans of America, the VFW, the Allegiance, for everything you have done for our veterans, for our communities. And I pray each one of you reflect on this day and know that we are truly blessed to have veterans here in America. Thank you for allowing me to share this morning with you, and I appreciate each one of you and your families coming out here and visiting with us today. Thank you so much.
Some gave all gave some. Our last song today honors our fallen soldiers who didn't find peace on this side. And for all of our men and women who came home and still struggle to find peace. Darwin, you said it in your talk. We've come a long way from where we began. But for any family who's lost a loved one, every day is a long day. But we'll tell them all about it when we see them again.
Again, so much thanks to the Ramada Choir for their presence today. They've made this a special occasion. I'm up here to talk about the Cheatham County Veterans Memorial Park. And I hope I don't get too emotional. This is unscripted, but this has been a beautiful ceremony today. But for the family and friends of veterans, sometimes you wonder why they're quiet. Sometimes you wonder why they seem so far away. Sometimes you wonder why they sit before the TV throughout the night. Sometimes you wonder why they seem so unsettled. It's because they love you, and they don't want you to know. Not only am I the secretary for the VBA, I'm also the second vice president for the Cheatham County Veterans Memorial Park organization. Many years ago, I understand it's around 2005, 2006, sometime in there, our then County Mayor David McCullough and our VSO officer Bob Counter envisioned a Veterans Memorial Park in Cheatham County, one that represented the entire county, represented all the veterans. They went through looking at different places, trying to acquire this, acquire that. And as many things, dreams go, things just drug on in their pursuit to try to find that place. Not many years ago, about 2 I think it was now, a resolution was presented to Cheatham County Commissioners and County Mayor Terry McCarver requesting the lease of 1.6 acres up here on the corner of Frey Street and Bell Street. And that lease was granted. And before I go on, I'd like to ask Mayor McCarver to come up here, please. Mayor McCarver, I'd like to present this to you and the commissioners for this piece of property that you allowed to give us for the pursuit of this Veterans Memorial Park. We appreciate it, and we thank you so much for your support and the support of the commissioners and other members of the county government. We thank you very much. Now a crass commercial message. We're seeking donations. If you want a plaque, just like the one that we gave to Mayor McCarver, for accepting donations, we've got order forms back on our table. Now I might mention that the United States Veteran Alliance, they're selling hats to support their organization, so please support their cause and our cause. It's a cause for everybody. Again, let me talk just a little bit about this park. If you ever get involved in the planning of something like this, you'll find out that it's not the easiest thing in the world to do. We've gone through many gyrations, talking, walking up, putting markers here, putting markers there, laying things out, realizing that this wouldn't look good, that wouldn't look good. So we're about 90% ready to start working on this park. We've got a little bit more to do as far as getting some detailed drawings and specifications to make sure that when we build this park, it's going to last a while. It's going to be a park that will be there for generations to come. We're going to have 4 large memorials. One memorial will be for World War I and World War II. On the back of those memorials will be the names of those of Cheatham County that were lost in those wars. We're going to have a monument to Korea. On the back of those, when I say the back, I actually mean the front. On the front of those will be the names of those that were lost in Korea. The same for Vietnam, and the same for the Persian Gulf Wars. And then we're going to have a smaller monument for the POWs, MIAs. And all our names are going to be facing each other. There will be a wall for the veterans that served. Our names will be facing each other. We'll be sharing our eternity with each other at this monument, at this memorial. I look forward to the day that a great-grandchild of mine that I've never seen, they've never heard my voice, don't know me, heard tales about me, your great-grandfather this, your great-grandfather that. I look forward to the day that they can look at my name on the Veterans Wall and say, my great-granddaddy served. We want it to be a place that if you've lost someone, that you can go talk to them, be with them. We want it to be a place that if you're in just some type of spiritual need, it'll be comforting, that you can go and pray, commune, meditate, whatever it is that you do. And we're going to need everybody's help in order to do this. It won't be cheap. But we want a memorial that's not only Cheatham Countyans proud of, but a memorial that will be the whole state of Tennessee will be proud of. That if you're from Wisconsin or Michigan, you happen to come down and go by our memorial, that you'll be proud of it. Again, it's a memorial for all of Cheatham County. It's going to be a special place. This 1.6 acres that we've been leased, God put his hands on it. It's a beautiful place, and we're going to keep it beautiful. We need your support. We're going to be fundraising. You're going to see more of this and hear more about it over the coming weeks. As soon as we get the final detailed plans where we can actually go out and show people what we're going to do, we're going to be going to different civic organizations, different groups, asking for your support. It's going to take a lot of work and a lot of effort. In my life, other than being a father, a husband, trying to be halfway decent citizens for part of my life, this is the most special thing I've been involved in. This is something that this county will be proud of, and we need your support. So any way you can support us, step up and do so. Thank you. Now I'm going to have Harold Hodges get up, and we're going to recognize the Veterans today. Again, the Cheatham Club will be handing out pins. I'm trying to get to something I've got to play at the end of this. Give me just a second. Somehow I've got it. I think Michael pushed a few buttons when he was up here. So
Blame me.
yeah, I've got to blame somebody. It's not my fault, Michael. Come on. All right.
As we've done every year during these ceremonies, we ask that all the veterans that are in attendance come up, tell everybody what service you were in, and then walk down here and see the nice lady from the Cheatham Club and get a little commemorative pin to show that you were here. So eventually we want to see all the veterans with so many pins on their hats that they don't have room for any more. So we're all praying y'all will be here long enough and as many times as it takes to fill that hat up. So what we'll do right now is we'll ask the veterans to line up down the sidewalk here, if you will, and then I'll have you come up one at a time, and we'll use this microphone. You can tell everybody your name and where you served and what service.
Edward Slaughter, U.S. Army, 19 and 45 and 46.
Good to see you, Henry.
Charles Branson, U.S. Air Force, Korean War. Thank you. Thank you. You made it a lot safer
You're
for
okay.
me when I went over
Be
there.
careful.
I'm Alan Mays, U.S. Army, served in the War on Terror, 2001, 1911, 2004.
Welcome home.
Raymond Richardson, United States Army, served in Vietnam, proud of it. Bravo Troop, 717th Air Cav.
Welcome home. Oh, I know this next guy. I know this guy.
Andrew Williams, two-timer, left from here in 1953, came back in 55, Army Reserve, 14 and a half years, Tennessee Air National Guard. Total service 31 years, 4 months, 22 days.
How many minutes have you? That's a one-of-a-kind character there, let me tell you.
Scott Jeanette, MCD 128 Alpha Company, 2 tours, Northern Eye Corps, Vietnam.
Welcome home. I know this guy too.
Marvin Wright, United States Air Force, from 1973 to 77. I was in England.
Hey, I know this guy too, dadgum. I'm running him.
I'm Clay Walden, served Vietnam to Desert Storm from 65 to 95. I have got 26 years of active duty. I'm no hero. I've got a vest that I'm proud of. And I'll put another patch on it, but on the back is the units I served with that served with some great heroes and some of the people that we lost. I'm so proud of them. And thanks everybody for showing up today.
Thank you, Clayton. We appreciate all you do.
George Lindsell was in the Air Force from 72 to 82 and was in Vietnam.
Welcome home. Uh-oh. I know this guy too.
Rich Hoyer, Percival.
You don't ever talk that little at the meeting. You ramble on and on. What in the world? You look like a guy I know. Thank you. You've already gotten me elected to 3 offices and organizations I'm not even a part of. So. I'm doing good.
Edward Gasser, United States Navy, 1965 to 70.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Welcome home.
Mike Moving, attached to the 82nd Airborne, Cheatham, Vietnam.
All right, thank you. Welcome home. Hey, Mr. Tom.
Tom Meadows, I served in the U.S. Army, 70 to 72, and served in Germany.
Here's our old U.S. Army. Red Warren. Kansas, and stayed there 3 years.
Welcome home. Thank you, sir.
I am Tony Krantz. I was born and raised in Cheatham County, lived here most of my life. I am an Air Force veteran, and I'm here to represent also 11 people in my family, 4 World War II veterans, 2 Vietnam, and the rest of us are all peacetime volunteers that we love the USA.
I'm Rodney Lockman. I served in the U.S. Army from 2005 to 2011.
Welcome home.
I'm Earl Walker, U.S. Army, 1960, 62 in Germany.
Thank you, sir.
Alton Benny, U.S. Army, 1958 to 1962.
Building.
Kelly Perry, U.S. Army, Vietnam, 69, 70.
Sir, welcome home. Hey, Jerry.
I'm Jerry Sharp. I served in the Army, NATO forces, 66 to 68 in Germany.
Well, I can't believe all the people I know.
Jim Pfeiffer, 68 to 70, Germany, Army.
Oh, yeah. Hey, man.
John Anderson served in the U.S. Army, 1986 to 1999, served in the Gulf War, and also a tour in Germany.
Thank you, Dan. Bobby.
Bobby Phillips, United States Navy, 1966, 1970. Served on 2 ships, 2 boats, Vietnam, 67, 68.
Thank you, Bobby.
Robert Barnes, U.S. Army, Vietnam, 70-71.
Welcome home.
Another one.
Okay, Joe Hampton, Huey, Joe Gunner, 73 or 77.
Rough job.
John Dixon, U.S. Army, 1974-1985, Tennessee National Guard, 2002-2016.
Thank you, sir. Hey, Jim.
James Hedgepath, U.S. Navy, 79 to 85, second class machinist mate.
You first class with me.
Ronnie Baldwin, Navy, 773. Was in Oklahoma for 18 months. Been on an aircraft carrier, the USS Constellation, for about a year.
My name's Tony Clark, served in the U.S. Army from 93 to 97. I want to take just a second to mention that Cheatham County's wanting to, commitment to serve is not over. We just had 4 kids that graduated in August. They graduated in May, left in August for the Marine boot camp, and they'll be graduating this coming Friday. Includes my son Jacob Wright, Hayes Pennery, and a couple other boys. So.
All right. The legacy lives on.
Stephen Haggard, U.S. Air Force, 1998 to 2004. Thank you, sir.
Michael Samuels, United States Marine Corps, 2000-2006, Operation Iraqi Freedom, 2nd MARDIV.
Thank you, sir. Welcome home.
Hey, Patrick Smith, 2013, Iraq twice.
Preston Tucker, U.S. Army, Korean War.
Thank you, sir.
I want to take a moment. My dad was a Navy in I can't remember now, but World War II. He was on an aircraft carrier, and he died. I have his flag. My oldest brother in 1971 was in the Air Force, and he was killed in 25 December 1971. I started my military trail at Fort Polk, Louisiana that same year. And 26 years later, I went through different things: reserves, active duty, Desert Shield, Desert Storm, at the Pentagon, which I wanted to be with the boys. And as I went, I'll add some levity. I started out as a private, made a surgeon. I felt like I was wonderful. And then they made me go to OCS, and I became Lieutenant Dan. And that stuck for a while. And then I was Captain Cook. And where's my boat? That was terrible. But I did finish up as a colonel, so it's my pleasure to be here.
Could have called him Colonel Flink, didn't I? My name is Darwin Newton. I served in the U.S. Army from 1969 to 1972 in the Army Chemical Corps.
Thank you, Darren. Hey, Sam.
Sam Creed, United States Air Force, 1965-1971, 825th Security Police Squadron for a couple of years, and into air traffic control operations with the 183rd Com Squadron, Phuket Air Base, Vietnam, 1968-1969.
Jim Stinnett. I was a corpsman in the Navy in the USS Guadalcanal. 1984, 1988, Persian Gulf, and parts unknown.
Yeah, we've all done some of that, right?
Bill Stinnett, U.S. Navy, 1948 to 1952. I served on the USS Bradford DD 545. I served on the USS LSSL 96 to Japan and back. But most of my time I spent at Naval Air Station, Pensacola, Florida, playing shortstop and third base. By the way, we also have a third one, a daughter, that with her active duty and reserve time, she retired from the Navy.
He was stationed in my hometown. I grew up 3 miles from that Navy base.
Larry Smith, Tennessee Air National Guard, Iraqi invasion, Kosovo conflict, Somalia conflict, 2 tours into Iraq and Afghanistan.
Walter Wheatley, United States Army, 1969, 1971, did 1 tour to Vietnam.
I want to take the opportunity here to thank all the veterans, and let's have a special thank you in our hearts for those that couldn't be here today, because they paid the ultimate sacrifice either during their service or sometime afterwards, and it doesn't really matter to the families if they're not here. Those are the way you remember them. You want to look back and see some of the wonderful things that they were involved in and that they helped happen, and the fruits of those labors will be gathered up and enjoyed by all of us and the children and the grandchildren that come after.
Hodges for president.
John Otis Nichols, United States Army, Vietnam 67-68, Han K, Chu Lai, Phu Bai, Ben Wan, Vung Tao. I wouldn't do it again, but I'm very proud that I went. Now if we can have Representative Littleton and Senator Roberts lay the wreath at the monument. our closing prayer, I'd like to say that there's plenty of food at the senior citizen, so if you want to go down and have lunch, it's enough food for everybody. So thank each and every one of you for being here today. Now our closing prayer. Bow our heads. Heavenly Father, we are thankful that you have brought us here today. We're thankful that we're allowed in this country the opportunity to honor those who serve that country, and who have served the citizens of the world so many times in helping to defend, protect, or regain their freedom. We thank you for all these people here who obviously have a special place in their hearts for veterans, and for the veterans here who, while they may not have lost the ultimate life, they saw many of their friends and home with them and home. We ask that you watch over the families who have lost the veterans, hold their hearts close, and remind us constantly that they will see the future. We want to thank all of those who inspired and all of those who made this possible today. We also want to thank you so much for letting us live in a place like Cheatham County, that values such as these are still celebrated, still held up high, still gained